offence archaeology on Twitter. Quite terrifying.
Don't beg Jeff Bezos. Charge him, for God's sake.
Have a day off. Use some common sense.
People can say whatever they want.
Listen online.
Watch it live on your smart TV.
Jeremy Kyle.
Big name guests and a truckload of topical emissions. Fighting your corner on the nation's favourite free speech destination.
Jeremy Kyle
On Talk Radio.
Welcome back, my friends. 25 to 7. What we try and do each and every day on Talk Drive is to talk about as many different things as possible. We were talking to Robert Halfon there about the petrol crisis. Jez, the green nuts need to understand that fracking is not the only way to extract shale gas. In any case, the tremors are akin to an HGV driving past your house. It's very negligible. The technology gets consistently safer too. Thank you to Mike. This from Jennifer. Jez, we are a densely populated country, so to frack here would be ill-advised, unpopular and unsocial. Gary says the windfall tax suggestion is the right one, but the oil company is the wrong target. We should be levelling a windfall tax on any and all industries that profited substantially from the COVID pandemic. Big pharma, PPE suppliers, big supermarket chains, and especially home delivery orientated businesses. Gaz is in Brighton, 87222 or 0344 499 1000. We try and pick all the stories and we try and deal with them head on. A report published today by the Public Accounts Committee says that the Department for Health and Social Care has overseen years of decline in the NHS's cancer and elective care waiting time performances. Even before the pandemic, capacity did not meet growing demand. Delighted to welcome now someone who knows too well about those problems. Stage 4 cancer patient Chris Lewis. Chris, welcome to Drive.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. Sir, when you see... well, let's start different. Let's talk about your diagnosis. When were you first diagnosed with cancer, Chris?
I was diagnosed in 2007.
15 years
I was given
ago.
6 months to live.
15 years ago, you were given 6 months to live.
Yeah.
What's that like? Seriously.
It's very life-changing. Listen, Jeremy, a diagnosis of cancer is life-changing to anybody. This certainly changed my life, and now I spend my life travelling the world, talking about cancer and helping people living with cancer, basically.
Do you look over your shoulder? I mean, I had testicular cancer. People know that 8 years ago. And I think when you hear that word the C word, as we say, and then you have chemotherapy, it is just scary. You become part of a club that you don't really want to become part of. But then you sort of feel, I don't know what you felt like, but I felt like I was sort of looking in at myself and not part of it. I was sort of floating around the place. You're a very positive person. There's a lot of people suffering out there who find it very, very difficult to live with it. And those figures today do not make this any easier. When we hear that these cancer and elective care waiting time performance sheets and waiting lists, not helped, of course, by the pandemic, but not great before, a lot of people would struggle to remain positive, wouldn't they?
They certainly would. To be honest, it's a disgrace. I'm pleased to see this report, but quite frankly, it's too late, almost. I'm delighted to see cancer in the headlines because it's taken too long, and you're absolutely spot on. We've been pretty poor as a nation for cancer care and other elective surgery pre-COVID. COVID and now the war, let's be fair, they've taken prime position. But cancer is something, as we all know now, it's going to affect half of us, half of the population in our lifetime, and it's something that rarely even gets a headline now.
It's almost part of the language, isn't it? I always thought before I had that diagnosis, people would say, oh, he's had cancer, they've lost somebody to cancer. When it's yourself, it really focuses your brain. You chose to make the most of your life, travel, talk about it, be positive, be quite chipper. What would be a message for people listening to this right now? Maybe without that support network, Chris, maybe without you know, without your attitude, who see this report today and think, I'm never, ever going to get the treatment I need. My life's not going to work. I mean, you sit and you count. That's terrible, man.
Jeremy, you're right. And what we need is hope. Okay, we take it day by day. We all need hope. You know, I'm sure the people of Ukraine have hope that something positive is going to happen for them. There must always be hope. That makes it difficult. But if you spin that report now, if you spin that, what that actually says is something positive. It's actually positive that we've noticed what the problem is, and hopefully we're going to do something about it.
What would be your hope? What do you want the government to do? What do you want the health service? How can we meet the demand of cancer patients and those waiting lists? What would your advice be, sir?
Firstly, we have two problems. We have the short-term problem, and that's where we have the waiting list for people that are very, very urgently needed. That's one problem. The second problem is the bigger problem of the NHS. The NHS is a massive beast, full on the whole of wonderful people. Unfortunately, it's run by government, and they're the puppets of the government. Government cannot organise basics, let's be honest. And this has happened through successive parties. This is not party politics. NHS is too important for the government, is my belief. When it becomes political, they've left it alone. Something should have been done years and years ago, and nobody's wanted to touch it.
I've always spoken out about this, and people get angry, but there you go, I'm used to that. I think the NHS was, along with the benefit system, the greatest invention in the modern world. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, throwing more billions of pounds into the black hole doesn't work. There are too many people manning WP machines. There are not enough doctors, not enough nurses, not enough medicines, not enough hospitals. And whether people like this or not, and I'd be interested if you agree with me, because I agree with you, the people that work in it are astonishing. And if you want help, there is nowhere better than the NHS. But these waiting lists belie real problems. And I'm afraid the people who have paid into it and the people who have contributed are not at the front of the queue. And I know that's an unpopular comment and people get really angry. I remember, and it's not cancer, my mum worked all her life, had to wait 4 years to have her hip replaced. If I hadn't been able to pay for her to do it privately, I think that's a disgrace. I think if you work for 48 years, you should be at the front of the queue. I'm not having a go about people from other countries. I'm just saying, if you pay into it, you should be in the queue. That's what I think, at the front of the queue. And I think they opened it up to too many people. There's too many loopholes, and it's too easy for people to take advantage of what is essentially a really important facet of life.
Actually, I'd absolutely agree. And quite honestly, I'm ashamed of what the NHS has become for the staff that work in it, quite honestly, Jeremy.
I agree with you. And I had to take my 2-year-old son literally 3 or 4 weeks ago overnight and to the hospital and ambulance. Unbelievable, mate. And my dad last year as well. Unbelievable treatment under terrible conditions, probably not enough money, probably loads of abuse. But you look around the place and you think, what's happened? If it wasn't man with these amazing people, God knows where we'd be, and we're in a bad situation already. What would your message be to the government, to the care, to the care government and all the people that are doing their bit? What would you say to the government? How do you change it?
To be honest, Jeremy, this is a national scandal, our health situation, and it has been for absolutely a long time. What we need, cancer is going to affect 50% of this nation. And if we take it, we've got 60 million people here. 30 million of us are going to be directly affected by cancer. That is almost a crime that we're doing nothing to do it. We need the experts in it. We need proper business people. If this was a business, it would never be propped up.
It would be bust. If it was a business, it would be bust. That's what I don't understand.
Quite frankly.
You know, like I said about the welfare state the other day, Chris, and got lambasted. I said, when I was growing up, what a fantastic concept to say, here's something where people, right, we help people who can't help themselves. But now I'm 57. There are 3 choices when you leave school. You can go to work, go to college, or go on the dole. It wasn't supposed to be a career choice. The NHS is supposed to look after people who have paid into a system who can't continue to work or can't afford to look after themselves. People have to harden up. Answer me one question, because you're very chipper. Are you scared?
What of?
Death?
No.
Not at all?
No, not at all. to be honest, I've been close to it quite a few times. You know, there's been times my wife's seen me in hospital and they didn't know I was going to wake up the next day. But you know what it's done for me? It's empowered me.
Yeah.
Right? What have I got to lose?
Nothing.
I've seen the worst that life can throw at me, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What have I got to lose? I tell you what it shows me. It shows me I saw the system, how bad it was for others, right? You spoke earlier about those that don't have family. Plenty of those, right? I'm on the internet, I'm on Twitter a lot, helping those people, not physically particularly, but virtually. What I'm able to do for them now has changed. It's changed dramatically since COVID came. COVID introduced the fear factor into our society, right? And we have that now. That's followed us on. And now we see that report. A lot of people will be scared.
Completely agree. Listen, I have to say, and I'm not just saying it, absolutely inspirational to have you on. I really, really appreciate the call. I'm going to ask a question. I hope I get the right answer. Which football team do you support, Chris Lewis?
I'm a mental Palace fan, Jeremy. Mental Palace fan. We're looking forward to the final.
Get him off the line. Crystal Palace and West Ham don't like each other. An absolute pleasure, Chris Lewis. Thank you so much. A man talking so candidly about their stage 4 cancer, just saying these waiting lists are unacceptable. Spends his time doing his bit to help people out. A fantastic man. With 15 minutes to go, Cav O'Sullivan is here from 7 o'clock on Talk.
Bold Talk Radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV.
The world headquarters of common sense.